Well, for decades, owning a home in America was considered the biggest symbol of success. It meant stability, it meant security, it meant that years of hard work had finally paid off. Well, thousands of Indians who moved to the US on H-1B visas worked day and night, saved every single dollar they could, and invested their life savings into buying a house. But today, for many families, that dream is turning into a nightmare. One such story comes from Texas, where an Indian origin professional named Ravi is fighting one of the toughest battles of his life. Well, after losing his job earlier this year, Ravi decided to sell the house that he had purchased during better times. But you know what? Months have passed and he still cannot find a buyer. Well, to make matter even more heartbreaking, Ravi says that he even removed the idols of Lord Ganesha, photographs of Hindu gods, and other religious symbols from his home after receiving advice that a less personal and more American looking house might attract more buyers. Now, whether that was the real reason or not, Ravi believes that he had no option left. He packed away the symbols of faith simply because he wanted to sell the house. The financial situation has become equally difficult for him. Ravi originally listed the property for nearly $1 million. Well, when no buyer came forward, he reduced the price dramatically, even below what he had originally paid for the house. Yet the house still remains unsold. Well, his struggle, it reflects a much bigger problem. Across the Dallas-Fort Worth region, many Indian professionals who bought homes during the tech boom, they are now facing layoffs, falling property values, and a slowing housing market. Well, during the post-pandemic year, many believed house prices could continue rising forever, but today, reality looks very, very different. Now, adding to Ravi's struggle is another personal battle here. He is also fighting stage 4 kidney cancer while searching for employment after losing his job. Can you imagine carrying all those burdens at the same time? Serious illness, unemployment, financial pressure, and an unsold house. The story reminds us that behind every economic statistics is a real family trying to rebuild his life. And yes, while many Indians are struggling financially, another group is now facing a completely different challenge: America's immigration crackdown. Because while some Indians are now losing their jobs and homes, others are now fighting to remain in America itself, and that's even worse. Ladies and gentlemen, America's immigration system depends on one important principle: trust. Well, every visa application, every green card request, and every asylum case depends on honest information, right? But according to the US authorities, that trust that was allegedly broken into dozens of immigration cases. Well, an Indian origin immigration lawyer named Vinod, he is now facing a proposed civil penalty of $250,000 after Homeland Security accused him of filing fake asylum applications on behalf of Indian clients. Well, according to investigators, the lawyer allegedly submitted 64 fraud documents across 32 separate immigration cases. In the meantime, officials claim many of the asylum stories looked almost identical, with similar claims, similar evidences, and nearly identical narratives repeated in multiple applicants. It is very important to remember that these are just allegations made by the US government and the legal process that is still continuing. However, with this particular case, it has already sent shockwaves through the Indian immigrant community. Why? Because asylum is one of the most sensitive parts of America's immigration system. It exists to protect people who genuinely fear persecution because of their religion, maybe, or political belief, race, nationality, or membership in a particularly social group. If fake claims become widespread, genuine seekers, they may also face greater suspicion. Here, officials say that this particular case marks the beginning of a broader crackdown here. Homeland Security has warned that immigration lawyers accused of knowingly submitting fake asylum claims, they may now face heavy financial penalties and maybe legal consequences too. In the meantime, immigration experts believe that this could change how asylum cases are handled in near future. In the meantime, lawyers may become more cautious. Immigration officers may demand stronger evidence, and applicants could face much stricter scrutiny than ever before. Well, for thousands of Indians with pending asylum case, this particular news, it has created fresh uncertainty. The message from the US authorities is becoming increasingly clear. The era of routine asylum filing, it may be coming to an end now. But even as immigration enforcement becomes stricter, another American court has delivered temporary relief to thousands of immigrants already living inside the country. Well, while one part of the government is tightening the immigration rule, another part is trying to protect the immigrants' legal right.